All right, we are live. What's going on, y'all? Cierra G. Wiles checking in, your trend-setting coach, helping you make better career decisions. I am here with my good brother, Mr. Brad Brown. And before we actually get started, while you guys are just logging in, of course, I'm going to do my administrative stuff, making sure I share it, making sure you share it, and doing all that good stuff starting out, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm all nasally today. I'm dealing with all of that stuff. So bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. All right. So I want to jump right into the conversation. First and foremost, Brad, thank you so much for sharing your time with us to talk about what we're ready to talk about today, the power in resumes, the power in words. Last week, we went through a journey of just giving I gave 5 tips about how to identify pretty much like your passions, your gifts, and how can people pursue what is now getting ready to be a big shift in, especially in the state of South Carolina. Benefits are going to be ending. Unemployment benefits are going to be ending. I believe it's June 26th. We identified last week. So we know that there's a shift that's coming. And so my main focus right now is really trying to get people prepared for the workforce as they go back to work, or they're trying to get those dream jobs and all of that stuff. So this is the primary context of our discussion that we're going to be talking about today. But first, Brad, I want you to introduce yourself to the people, to the viewers. Let them know who you are.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for having me for just it's out the gate. So my name is Brad Brown. I'm the owner of Brad J Resumes. It's a professional resume writing service, and basically what I do is I help early professionals as well as mid-level professionals just advance in their careers. So I've been doing it maybe for the past 3.5, maybe 4 years, and it's been very successful, and I have a high successful rate as far for my clients.
Nice. And where can people find you, Brad?
They can find me on my website at www.bradjresumes.com. Also on Facebook, Brad J Resumes, and Instagram at Brad J Resumes as well.
All right. So let's get right into the conversation, because it's big right now. Everybody is getting ready to, it's getting ready to be a bit hectic. But let's talk about the power of words, because sometimes we don't know how to navigate those spaces when it comes to career changes or even pursuing a new career. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what is that process? What is the first thing? What is it, firsthand, if I'm getting ready to transition into the workplace?
First thing, what I would do is, figure out what it is that you actually want to do. See if you actually, satisfied where you are in your career. Write down what skills, that you're good at, things that you actually want to learn. And then just start just writing down just different job descriptions, things that you like to go transition into. Once you kind of figure that information out, that's how you will go in to, start the process of actually writing your resume and aligning it to those types of skills.
I love that, because sometimes it's hard for people to capture what it is that they're really good at, because sometimes it all stays up in their head, and I like, oh, I want to help people, I'm really good with my hands, but it's really about how do you define that on the resume, right? And how do you translate that into words? So can you talk about as far as why the translation of those type of skills are important for resumes, and what a lot of the successes that you've seen as far as what employers look for on paper?
Yeah, so as far as with just the words, what you would like to do is just study like even keywords in your in your career path. So if it's like customer service, you want to see powerful words within that customer service realm. If it's education, look up words that's in the educational realm, or accounting, or healthcare, like if that's such. So you want to make sure that you align whatever those type of words are, the position that you're looking to apply for.
Oh,
And
I love that.
That's basically what gives you just a high success rate. That, and actually talking about your your achievements, your results that you have with your work, any accomplishments, things of that such. That's gonna make you stand out on your resume and definitely land a position that you want.
I like that, Brad. And I just thought about like as far as just because sometimes what I think about as far as a resume, this is an opportunity for me to brag on myself, right?
It is.
And how important is that?
It's very important. That's why, like, I guess with my clients, what I do is I have them pretty much get like their performance reviews.
Oh, nice.
Um, and that way they can get at the 6 month mark and also at the the year mark. And
Yeah,
that way they can have just a snapshot of what they've done throughout the year. That way they can continuously update the resume. Because sometimes you run across a path where somebody might have been at a job for 5 years, but they never wrote anything down. So it's gonna
right,
be hard. It's gonna be hard to remember what you did 5 years ago. You barely can probably
right,
remember what you did last week.
right.
So I
Exactly.
always so I always just tell people to make sure that they every time they get like an award or get like results or any kind of achievement or anything, to always make sure they have like a notation of that somewhere. That way they can always go back and do it, update it every 6 months. Because at the minimum, I would say just update your resume twice a year, at
Nice.
least.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times people don't realize it. Like as you're gaining experiences, you are acquiring sometimes extra skills, and
You
that
are,
needs to be translated.
you are, and it's like a lot of people don't realize that they're actually doing a lot of stuff. Their job.
Yeah.
Let's take for example somebody that let's say works in collection.
Okay.
They might think that you know it might be just a little bit of amount of money that they're collecting, but just think about it. If you add up that money over time, that might be I collected $1 million, blah blah blah, or I collected
Right.
$1.5 million. That's what I do when I write it on the resume to get the results because
Okay.
that's pretty much what you did at your job. You
Right.
collected XYZ amount of money. You've won this amount of awards. So that's what helps you definitely stand out amongst everybody, every candidate. That'll get your resume pulled every single time.
I love that. And so a lot of these employers are looking for these main keywords. And I can say definitely for I'll say South Carolina or even the upstate area, we're heavy in manufacturing as well as call centers and healthcare. So can you talk about, I guess some of those maybe keywords or just some
Yeah.
advice you would give some of the people who are in those industries?
Yeah. So like I guess let's go for like manufacturing. Somebody that probably works in manufacturing is probably they would probably want to hone in on things like quality, you know,
Yeah.
quality, cost reduction,
Yeah.
stuff like Six Sigma, um,
Okay.
Green Belt, anything that does with like reducing costs and also, just increasing, process improvement, things of
Okay.
that sort. As far as for like healthcare, you probably want to, talk about how many patients that you care for on what type of. So you want to, because all kind of specialties with nurses, it's all
It
kinds.
is.
So you want
Yes.
to list like if you worked in intensive care, you want to make sure that you talk about that. If you worked in
Okay.
emergency room, make sure you talked about that. If you work
Right.
with children, you want to make sure that you talk about that. So you want to always make sure that you always speak on exactly what you did in like an
Right.
areas of expertise section. So you always want to make sure that you talk about that kind of stuff. And what was the other one you said? Call center?
Yeah, call centers.
Call center, relationship building, service, communication skills, whether you can work remotely, like how we're talking remotely, speak on your
Right.
technology, because I know a lot of people are working from home and not
Right.
actually working in physical location. So remote skills now are very big. A lot of companies are
Mhm.
looking for it because they're only going 50%,
Right.
capacity inside the office.
Okay.
When I first started working from home, that was my first time ever working from home. So I had to learn that on the fly. So now, if I
Right.
was to ever update my resume, I would put that as a skill.
Nice.
Working from home, telework, remote work. And you
Okay.
start talking about the technology that you use, how we use this platform here, and you always add that on too as well.
Nice. And I even because I know some of the followers that we typically will watch or come back and watch the replay are people who may work as administrators or work in organizations who may be working with students also. So I have a very diverse audience. And so can you talk about as far as the process for maybe some high school students who are looking to go into, some summer jobs, because sometimes it's hard for them. They're thinking, oh, I don't have a lot of experience. Like, what advice can you give them?
Yeah, for high school, pretty much just focus on, of course, your academics, what you've done at
Right.
school, any kind of like summer projects maybe that you worked on, any kind of part-time jobs maybe that you worked, any volunteer experience. I make sure that I would add the volunteer part. The volunteer,
Right.
think about it. If you're 16, you may have worked a summer job. So if you worked a
Right.
summer job before, go ahead and include that. And so basically you just include everything as far as your education, any kind of like skills that you may have learned while you worked your part-time job, as well as make sure that you just enter in any volunteer experience that you may have had.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So this is really good. And so even Brad, just to kind of shift gears a little bit in this, to even talk about your own journey, because I'm really big on career exposure and how people got to where they are. So can you talk a little bit about your journey and what that looked like? How did you get to writing phenomenal resumes?
Crazy, because it's all over the place. So let's just not have a long story, but just go from like after college. I started working in the call center, started working at Verizon Wireless. After I worked at Verizon Wireless, I went into a totally different industry and went into manufacturing. I probably worked there like 2.5 years. And then after working there for 2.5 years, I decided I wanted to go into finance, well,
Uh-huh.
like banking world. So I took a pay cut. I went back. I went to TD Bank, started back
Okay.
on in and worked my way up. And then now, being at Truist, start doing everything in like mortgage lending and things of that such. But on the
Right.
writing side, how I got started was probably about 6 years ago. I started writing resumes for like my family members and also coworkers. So
Nice.
I always knew I wanted to, own a business and start a business. And when I started seeing like a lot of my clients or like a lot of people that I wasn't even charging at the time, when I start seeing them get a lot of results, they start coming back to me saying, "Hey man, I got a salary increase this amount of money. Hey, I got the
Nice.
job that I wanted. You just need to start doing this as a business." And then that's when it clicked.
Right.
And hey, I need to really start buckling down and just start this up as a business. So as of 2017, maybe summer 2017, that's when I started doing it. And then I'm here talking to you right now.
Right. Man, that's
Hundreds of
pretty powerful.
hundreds and maybe almost 1,000 clients later. So, yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And even because, okay, so it's like 3 years, you you noticed that you had this gift to be able to translate words on a resume, and people, you were starting to see results out of it. And
Yep.
so I'm all about this. I'm all about people turning their passion into a career. So how did you identify that that was something that you was like, okay, this is something special and unique that I have? What triggered that?
I guess the fact that I seen it start changing people life because you don't really think about it like that because it comes to you
Right.
naturally. But
Right.
to
Right.
somebody else, they're like, man, it just changed my life. I make X, Y, man. I ain't never made this amount of money. Like, hey, congratulations. Like, I'm glad, I'm
Right.
proud of you. I'm proud of you. They really like, no, you don't understand. And I guess it's like seeing that, and I guess that's what kind of made me just be like, you know what? Yeah, this is my aha moment, and this is what I need to be doing. So that's
Nice.
what made me take it, even more seriously, and just start just buckling it down. Just start, really putting my work out there, really connecting with people, and I think a lot of past experience in my work experience is what I translated to my business. As far for talking
Okay.
to customers, you
Okay.
see what I'm saying? Like dealing
Yes.
with customers, dealing with different clients. So that's what I used what I had already known from work, my professional career. I just tied it into business. So
Okay.
that's what makes it run even more smoothly. I think that's what makes it so special.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is amazing. Because sometimes, everybody is not, fortunate enough to be able to know or figure out, what it is that they're really
Yeah.
good at doing or what they're gifted at doing. And so I'm such an advocate for that. Like, it's all about the fulfillment for me. It's all, and I can hear the way you talk about the passion. It's like, yes, my clients are
Yeah,
achieving better. And even,
they
prior
are.
us even going live and just a conversation, like I know that this is something that you are truly passionate about.
It is, and it's just something that it's no better feeling. Like when somebody
Yeah.
says, "Man, I was in a bad situation. I hated where I worked at. I
Yes.
hated where I was. You know, I was stressed out every day." And
That's it.
then they go from saying that to, "Yo, I love getting up, going where I go to work at. I love doing this is fulfilling," and it has nothing to do with salary, because I talk to a lot of people that can make
Right.
six figures and they're not happy.
Right.
They
Right.
want to scale back,
Yeah.
and then they scale back and get the person they actually want. So that's another thing that I try to, tell too, because sometimes the money doesn't be for everybody. It doesn't be
Right.
what everybody actually wants.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah. And I see that a lot. I'm always like, don't really chase the money.
Chase the
Don't
money, yeah.
don't chase the money, because trust me, like it's a rabbit hamster wheel. That's what they call it, a
Yeah,
hamster. Like you just
yeah,
going, it's never, nothing is ever turning up out of it. So I'm all about, growing in your career, the self discovery, and really figuring
and
out what it is that you're good
and
at.
it could be like other things that you put like I'll put it on my IG, like a checklist. Like it could be, well, salary might be your number one priority, but then
Right.
after that it might be flexibility, working
Yeah.
from home, because you might want to work from home. You might be
Yeah.
a parent, you might have to have your child home with you.
That's it.
That comes across too. It might be benefits for you. It
Yeah.
might be the commute for you. You know, it might be that you make a lot of money, but you don't want to drive that far to go get it. You see, so it's
Listen.
yeah, because you can be made, you can make all the money, but you still upset that you got to take an hour trip to go get it, and then so it just
No,
depends.
I completely understand that. Like I used to work in Anderson, and
Hmm.
when I was like, now why am I doing
Yeah,
this again?
you
This
gotta
ain't
really love
working
it.
no more.
You gotta really love it, and that's one thing about even like myself. I didn't think I was gonna work from home, and then when I finally got home, I'm like, man, I love this. Like I
Right,
love working remote. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's
So
the flexibility too.
it's the flexibility, and it's also just knowing that it ties into what you said earlier about just knowing what it is that you want to do, and just writing down different things about your career path, whether you want to work in an office space, or do you want to work at home? Do you want
Right.
to work 8 hours a day? Do you want to work, weekends, 10 hours? Do you want to
That's
get
it.
it all done within 3 days, 12-hour
Right.
shifts? So some people like it. It's just different, you know, just
Yeah.
different personality, different people.
That's it. Because you have to define it. And sometimes we don't know how to define it until we get into circumstances and you're like, I really don't like this. But you do. You
Hate
really
it.
do have to. I'm an advocate for that. Like you write it down, write down what it is that you truly want out of your career. Like and be okay with that. Anything that doesn't align with that, then let's put it back on the table. This is probably not a discussion that we need to have, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right, because I see it all the time. And when I see it earlier on, I'm like, yo, you make XY amount of dollars. Why?
Right.
And then I start thinking about it. No, this person, yeah, they're not happy in that role. They don't
That's
want to be.
it.
They want to go do this. This is what they're good at,
Yeah.
and this is what they like to do. Makes sense. So
That's
wrote it,
it.
go, and then they, get their
Yeah.
position, and that's it. Yeah.
That's it. And I've actually been hearing a lot of stories now where people are taking salary and pay cuts
Yeah.
in order for
Yeah.
them to get into something that they enjoy doing. So,
Yeah.
it's a fivefold thing to where people have to see it as, this is not just me pursuing a job and looking at it
Yeah.
from a product. This is a career journey. This is something
Yeah.
lifelong, you
Mhm.
know? Yeah.
It's true. I
Yeah.
see it all the time. I see it all
Yeah.
the time.
So this is good. This is good. So I want to I guess even go more into you turning this into a career path, like you doing resume building and development. I'm sure you have cover letters and you're probably doing some coaching and different things like that. So give me or at least our listeners some tips on what they can expect probably with this shift getting ready to happen. Like, what is this getting ready to look like?
Um, I would say as far as for just always make sure, like even with now, because since they're gonna start cutting, I guess like the benefits and things of that such, start updating like your resume, of course.
Yes.
Start working on your interview skills. Oh,
Yes.
video definitely, because a lot of it's not going to be face to face anymore.
Right.
Become more familiar with like the different technologies that's going to be implemented, from working from home.
Right.
And like I said, sharpen up your interview skills, and also start reaching out to your network. Your network could be anybody. It could be anybody that you went college with. It could be
That's it.
somebody that go to the same gym. Could be somebody that's church. It could be anybody. So
Right.
and start reaching out and start seeing like what they actually do, because it could be that it's a position open where they're located
That's
that
it.
you want, that's
Right.
not even posted, because it's a whole different ballgame with the hidden job market. Because a lot of
Man,
people think all the jobs, a lot of people think all the jobs are posted online, but they're not. It's like 80% of the jobs not even posted.
come on, let's talk about that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Let's talk about it. When I tell you, now you're in my realm. I'm
Yeah,
loving it
now you
right now,
cooking.
Brad. I'm loving
Now
it.
you
I'm
cooking.
loving
Yeah,
it.
so it's the hidden job market. So it's like a lot of the positions, they're not even on the websites. A lot of job boards. So a lot of people like to try to go to like not LinkedIn. They try to go to like Glassdoor, Indeed,
Right.
Simply Hire. A lot of those, Monster. A lot of the jobs are not even listed. A lot of it's on who you know through your
Oh,
network. That's how you can land. You have that resume already written out. You already sharp with your interview skills. You already know a person working over at a certain place. All you got to do is just hand them that resume,
that's it.
and
That's
that's
it.
it.
When
And
I
then
tell you,
you there. The position not even posted. You already interviewed for it and everything. Boom, you already
right.
hired. That job was never even posted. But yeah, so it's
That's
like
it.
80. I think 70 to 80% of the jobs are not even posted online.
No, you are definitely telling the truth. And I tell people that all the time. Every single job that I have gotten in my career
Mhm.
has been through networking.
Yeah,
I
that's why I
can't
tell people too. It's not just the resume. The resume is just the foundation. You
that's
add
it.
that network to it. It's you good.
It-
That
That's
perfect that solid resume with that network, you good. You'll never go without landing whatever position, because you got that good work ethic. You slide it over to them. They get you that
this is
interview. You
good.
sharpen your skills, and then boom,
Right.
good.
Right.
Happens all the time. That's why I tell all my clients, make sure you reach out to. That's why I send a lot of people to LinkedIn too, because you might find um, uh, you know, um, old classmates and things
Yep.
that might be at different organizations.
Uh-huh.
And you just shoot them IM, shoot them a DM. Hey, checking up on things, and
And
then
that's
boom,
yes.
since you started, boom.
And that's what it's all about. It is about networking. And I was reading this article, which is it is a downside a bit for those who may be introverted. And I have found because when I was reading, I was like, this is very interesting, because it is in America, there is this sole dream that you have to get up, you got to go and hustle, you got to network, you got to go and get it. But you have people who are introverts who are just like, that's really hard for me, and so I'm pretty sure you have had clients like that. So how can you give them some advice on how they still can be aggressive in that lane and not feel that social pressure
I think
that
with
given.
probably with introverts, I would say pretty much, excuse me, like on LinkedIn, join the different kind of like groups,
Hmm.
and just start networking that way.
Right.
Um, or like doing the virtual. I know they have virtual career fairs.
Yes.
They have a lot of different things that you still can do behind the screen, where you don't have to go and interact with people. You just
Right.
take advantage of those type of things that they have going on. But I would say definitely LinkedIn, and just interacting with people in those different type of career groups.
Nice. Okay, that's real good. That's good, y'all. I hope y'all getting this. We talking about the hidden market, resumes, power and words, all of this good stuff. um what else? I feel like I'm missing one important key. Do you have anything else, Brad?
Um,
Want to give
so
the
we are
people?
so we already talked about the resume. We already
Yeah.
talked about making sure interview skills, whether face to face or from a remote location. That's going
Yes.
to definitely key. Cause I even looked on various like job descriptions now, and they're saying for protocol they're doing a lot of them, remotely and not coming in.
I can see that. Yeah.
Uh, I would the network definitely. Oh, another key one. Social media.
I was getting ready
Social
to
media.
bring that
I don't
up.
know how. I don't know. We're even talking on it. I
We
forgot.
did,
Yeah.
and that's the main important one. I'm saying, I'm looking at social media. That's the main thing.
That's the main one. Just make sure, even if you're applying for jobs, I would just suggest maybe you can even deactivate, maybe,
Right.
or just because if you know that you're putting a lot of content out there that may be just a red flag when they go to, because they do check, your face, your
Oh,
social media a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So I would say just be mindful of that when you're actually going to actually apply, because that could be a part of the process. Because it could be you and another client, and then they go pull your social media. They see whatever on each other's social media. This is how we're gonna make the decision.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes people don't recognize. We mentioned that last week, and just talking about social media and the power, and how one of the
Think about
ladies,
how many people. Think about how many people you probably done seen get fired over social media.
right, or some people who don't even get calls
Yeah,
because
that's
they
another
go and
thing.
look, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's something powerful.
And I think I put that stat out on my IG. I think it said about 70% of employers check. It's probably more than that now, but yeah, at least
Yeah,
over 70%.
yeah, it is. It's something serious. It
Yeah,
really
it's something
is.
serious. So yeah, that was another thing. I always make sure. Yeah, so make sure your resume is good. Reach out to your network. Sharpen up your interview skills, and also just make sure that you just you stay on top of your social media, and yeah, you should be fine.
Oh man. So this has been really good. I feel like honestly you have hit majority of the things that I really wanted to talk about for this conversation. So what I want to do, Brad, before we close out is you to give everyone just give them a piece of advice. Keep them encouraged. What would you say to the people right now?
Um, Stay focused. Stay
Yeah,
focused. And lock in on what it is that you actually want to do. You know, 'cause at the end of the day, it's your life.
right.
It's your goals. It's your dream. So just take advantage of that, and just know that nobody else can stop you but you. So
That's
I
it.
would just say stay focused, keep pushing. As long as you're consistent, it's always gonna happen for you. It's
That's
always gonna,
that's good. That's
yeah.
good. I like that. Well, Brad, this has been an amazing conversation.
Yes. I
Amazing
appreciate it.
conversation.
I
No,
appreciate it.
I do. I thank you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate like I was seeing like the chat with people comments, man. I appreciate it too. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Everybody's telling you doing a great job. Good
Yeah, thank
info.
you.
Yes. So, thank you so much, Brad, for taking the time out and just coming to pour into our community. I'm like I said, I'm an advocate for career exposure, making sure people are using the gifts that they have, turning it into careers. So, where can the people find you once again, Brad?
Yeah, so you can find me on social media, Brad J Resumes on Facebook, IG, and I left off LinkedIn too.
Okay. Yes.
On LinkedIn, my name is Brad J Brown on LinkedIn.
Okay. All right.
And then
Brad
my
J.
website is
Brown.
going to be www.bradjresumes.com.
Okay. All right.
You'll
Thank you
find
so
me in
much.
those places.
All right. Well, you guys have heard it right here. We have given you some tools and tips for resumes, interviews. Brad has given you some motivation. We don't talk about social media, the job market, hidden markets, hidden industries, all of this good stuff. I hope you guys continue to tune in every single Tuesday, Career Chat Tuesdays. You never know who's going to stop by, who's going to give us some tools and tips in order for us to level up and go to that next level in our career. This has been Cierra G. Wiles, checking in, your trend-setting coach, helping you to make better career decisions. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation. All right, y'all. Deuces.
Peace.